A traffic stop in Jacksonville begins politely and stays that way until it doesn't. Body-worn cameras catch the calm cadence of an officer explaining the plan. Step out, secure the firearm on your hip, run your license, send you along. The driver is cooperative, narrating each move, hands where they should be. Another officer arrives. The choreography shifts a half step, and then a sound you never want to hear on a routine encounter, a single report from a pistol that should not be firing. The round tears into the driver's thigh. He buckles with a stunned gasp.
No, you don't? All right, you're not a convicted felon, right? Nothing?
I do everything, whatever
Okay.
I shoot for you.
All right. So what we're going to do is, just for my safety, your safety, I'm going to have you step out. All right, fair enough? And we're just going to remove the pistol from you. And then we're going to run your license, make sure everything's good, and I'm going to send you on your way.
Get out this way?
Yeah, just hang tight. Just do me a favor, lower that window. Hey, he's very compliant. He does have a pistol on him. So we're going to take him out from that side, remove the pistol, and we'll go from there. All right?
Get out?
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
On my side.
I appreciate it, man, being very
Oh,
honest.
yeah, all right.
Oh, you okay? Hey. Put the gun down. Gun down. You okay? You got shot in the leg. Rescue 1068. HQ 2162. Rescue 1068.
The same officer who intended to make the scene safer is immediately shouting for medics and clamping a tourniquet high and tight while her partner calls out cross streets. Later, the department will confirm what the footage shows, an inadvertent trigger press while removing a handgun from a pocket holster. The officer is terminated. The victim, a crane operator, says the wound cost him shifts, strength, and sleep. Watching it back, you feel two truths collide. Compliance doesn't inoculate you against chaos, and one negligent finger can rewrite a stranger's year in less than a heartbeat. On June 27, 2022, a Redditor woke up to a 5:40 a.m. voicemail from a blocked number, a minute of oddly confident monologue delivered like a tutorial. The caller begins with culinary certainty. Judge pizza by sauce, dough, cheese, never the toppings. Then the voice pivots. I do not watch the Kardashians, I will never wear a backpack. I hope this is clear to you. No hesitation, no filler words, as if he's reading a script.
You should always judge pizza by the sauce, the dough, and the cheese, not by the toppings on it. Also, when ordering pizza, especially for delivery or pickup, it is not a bad idea to order it well done, as most places have a tendency to undercook it, especially when they're busy, like on a Friday night. Now that is, of course, unless you like it lightly cooked. Now I have no interest at all in watching the Kardashians, and I never have, nor will I ever wear a backpack. And I hope this is clear to you.
The OP bartends at a place that sells pizza had just changed numbers and didn't recognize the voice. Why the star 67 concealment? Why the professor tone certainty? Why the clear to you threat adjacent sign off? Redditor's first pass chalked it up to dementia, the kind of crisp yet context-free stream elders sometimes produce, but the cadence is still rehearsed. The transitions, though bizarre, come without stumbles, which undercuts the confusion hypothesis. Troll? Maybe. The unnerving part is that it feels encoded. Well done versus undercooked, Friday night, no Kardashians, no backpack. Each could be a key in a substitution code or a shorthand ops brief. The anonymity supports this reading. If you're just leaving cuisine tips, you don't have your number. Some invoke post-2016 pizza code lore, even if the original conspiracies were debunked. It's plausible that bad actors co-opted food words and signifiers precisely because the noise shields the signal. In that lens, doneness could stand for age or skin tone. Friday could fix a meet date. Kardashians or backpack could signify payment method or courier profile. Without a cipher, it's guesswork. The OP never received a follow-up. Maybe it was misdialed theater. Maybe it was a narrowly targeted instruction that landed on the wrong phone, a stray fragment, or someone else's ugly business. A long-haul driver idles in a Louisville lot, sipping his coffee when the horizon tilts wrong. The chatter in his cab goes from curiosity to dread in 2 breaths. The distant howl, the sudden predatory drop, the fireball that follows like a second sunrise.
bro. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy.
He's shouting for the car beside him to turn around to get clear because that streak in the clouds is not leveling out. His dash cam freezes the exact instant UPS flight 2976 meets the ground and detonates. A shockwave of heat and shrapnel rippling through the frame. Later angles surface, the ruin up close, the sound of metal atomizing, strangers sprinting without knowing where safety even is. When you read about aviation disasters and imagine neat timelines, tidy NTSB summaries, footage like this tears that illusion away. A cargo jet becomes a meteor. The Earth answers with flame. Early reports mention at least 9 lives lost. Investigators will spend months sifting clues from the ash. In the moment, though, there's only the driver's raw instinct, the helpless counting of seconds in that terrible rising certainty. This is really happening. Stay Haunted heads into Boy Forest, one of the UK's most whispered about woodlands, for a night run to a rumored altar site. From the first steps, their plan unravels. Paths marked on offline maps dead end into windthrow and snap trunks, as if a line of trees fell in a pattern rather than randomly.
Oh, I think we need to get up.
Yeah, let's go up. Let's go up.
Right, which way we're going? Back the way?
Back away so we know which way.
Right, back in the forest again. My light's having a meltdown. I don't understand why it's flashing like that. Because it's fully charged. What? Yeah, all the trees are all broken. Oh my god. It's crazy. Yeah, my things died. Here. Fully charged light. And it's dead. What the hell, like? Oh, I don't know what this is doing.
Hold on. We still need to get out there, but we're checking them up where you are.
My torch is dead. Look at this. Fully charged battery, charge of 4 left. And it's dead.
Right. We're here.
Uh-huh.
I want to get to here. So the meat was we go out here, out this tree line.
Yeah.
And then cut across, there's a big path there along the water, and then over to this building.
Okay.
And investigate that building, and then through it. Altar's maybe up behind it somewhere. Like further up the pathway.
Yeah.
But see, originally what I had planned was we came in here and walk along this path here.
Mm-hmm.
So walk right along that, straight to that.
Yeah.
But me and you
Are we in?
walked in here. And
Oh my
fucking,
God.
yeah, walked way in that middle of the forest.
Jesus. That's crazy.
So we need to find that.
Torches have left base camp fully charged fail within minutes. A second light strobes and dies. They course correct toward a dam and a wall they'd scouted on satellite imagery, only to find the ground plan doesn't match what their compasses and eyes insist is there. Audio turns odd. First, faint laughter that sounds young, then a childlike voice only one of them hears, then both.
The little girl likes you.
The little girl! I've been hearing children's voices.
Right here, you know?
Yep, I heard it.
Hello?
Right, everybody, we have now just went in to do an investigation in the pitch black in Boy Forest. We're now hearing stuff. This is crazy. Oh my god, he's seen something moving.
The other torch.
There's not many people. Not many people that can say that they've...
See up there where your torch is?
Yeah.
There's like a shadow or something just walked across and moved.
Shadow?
Yeah, like a shadow figure, like dark figure moved across there. Right where your torch is now.
Yeah, there. So, we're going to do a bit of an investigation because we just didn't want to leave. Because we couldn't find, obviously, the altar and everything. But we've had some crazy stuff happen already, like I tell you that. And even on the way here, mad stuff's been happening. So, let's do this and get spooky.
I'm gonna set some stuff up.
He's just using the torch here to put the equipment out. Like, look at this here, like, see when I turn round. As always, if you don't believe us, that's what I'm seeing right now. Oh my god. The camera's just like, nope. cat ball over there. There's a cat ball over there. There's a music box. Oh my god. This is crazy. I'm probably gonna have a sit down here.
They set gear anyway. Cab, REM pod, a music box trigger on a patch of churned leaves. More equipment misbehaves. The camera refuses to lock exposure. The viewfinder blackens, though the lens is clean. The music box chimes once after a direct question, then again from a different angle a few minutes later with no one near the sensor. Something heavy moves just out of torch reach. One team member swears a dark figure across the path, left to right, low and gliding. The forest floor worsens into boggy hollows that suck boots, forcing slow, loud steps, perfect for anything shadowing them. Midway through, they pass a spot they know they've already walked, and now there are small garments, damp, newly hung from a limb they'd scanned with their lights earlier. That's a tipping point. They decide to exfiltrate and immediately lose the sense of direction they held all evening. Every route rhymes with the last. Every reference looks duplicated. 2 hours later, road gravel feels like sanctuary. Back at the car, they're subdued. No victory lap, just the admission that the location swallowed their roots, toyed with their kit, answered their prompts, and refused them the altar. Whether that's folklore fulfilling itself or something territorial, the results play the same. A forest that won't yield to linear plans and punishes anyone who assumes it will. February 24, 2015, a new Our Legal Advice thread appears. Need advice on talking to police regarding my wife. The husband claims his spouse went out shopping Saturday night and never returned. He's ready to file a missing person report after waiting over 48 hours, but wants to avoid triggering suspicion. He asks what not to say. Commenters beg him to call police now. His replies drip with calculation. He's totally freaking out, but mostly about how he'll look. He floats the 48-hour misconception as if it's a shield. He wants to avoid it snowballing. Accusations fly. People ask the only question that matters. Where is she? He pushes back, insulted by the insinuations, then abruptly returns with an update. He found a note saying she left town to see an old friend. Conveniently, after Reddit skepticism peaks, he also posts in r/ask Reddit, asking whether notes from loved ones are typically typed or handwritten. That coincidence detonates whatever trust remained. If he's fabricating, he's crowdsourcing the forgery in real time. Two interpretations linger. One, his wife fled a controlling or abusive situation and left a low-contact breadcrumb. Two, the crowd stalker Reed is right. This is alibi shopping masquerading as legal caution, and the note is a prop. Then the account goes silent. No press item, no arrest record, just an unresolved knot of dread. In true crime space, uncertainty often feels like complicity. In this one, the loudest thing is the absence that follows. Awakened by metallic clinking in the dead quiet, creator Jacob Johnson JJ Kicks 651 hits record and whispers into the dark like he's trying not to wake a sleeping animal. What the camera catches is the opposite of sleep. Wall metals quiver, then swing. A door eases inward as if someone on the other side has fingers curled around the edge. Scattered objects nudge and tilt without a visible hand.
Okay guys, I just saw these metals. Look. Do you see that? Oh my gosh. What in the world? Oh. What? There's the metals again. That door just opened by itself. My house is haunted. Serious.
Jacob mutters that the place is haunted, and you can hear the truth in his breath, then shaky like the temperature has dropped 10 degrees in a blink. This isn't a single cupboard bump or a drafty hinge you can shrug off. It's a series. Movement here, then there, then behind him, like a cold wave rolling through the room. He later described the air as icy and smothering, a pressure you feel in your ears and sinuses. Skeptics will reach for a fishing line or HVAC. The problem? The activity happens across multiple points in frame, with no obvious line paths, and the timing stacks. One knock triggers another 2 beats later, the way footsteps echo down an empty hall. Even if you don't buy paranormal, you can't deny the pattern, layered, escalating, and very interested in an audience. The A1M should have been routine on July 15, 2021. Instead, a 3.5-ton Scania lorry became a fuse. Behind the wheel, Ayan Niku Onet, 41, wasn't scanning mirrors or reading brake lights. He was swiping through adult dating apps for the better part of 40 minutes. Ahead, reduced limits, congestion warnings align stationary vehicles near J61 at Balburn. Inside the cab, a glowing rectangle in the lie that you can multitask at 56 miles per hour. At 6:15 p.m., the Scania plows full force into the rear of a Vauxhall Crossland, detonating a rolling fireball that melts tarmac and folds steel like paper. David Daglish, 57, and Elaine Sullivan, 59, are gone in an instant. Yards ahead, Paul Mullen, 51, in a Toyota Hilux is followed by flames. The lorry keeps grinding forward for another 320 feet, dragging, crushing, and finally collapsing into a heap of heat-warped wreckage. A passerby, Michael Hosty, kicks out the windscreen and drags Onet clear seconds before the inferno blossoms. In court, prosecutors play the telemetry and the screen logs. Nearly 50 pounds in app credits purchased while rolling. No hands-free, no voice commands, just eyes off the world that needed them. Onet talks about bad choices and sleepless nights. Families talk about empty chairs and grandchildren who won't meet the people they would have adored.
Well, everything happened too fast. Everybody pulled the brakes super fast.
Okay.
Well, not super fast, and I didn't have time to react, from such a big machine.
Yeah.
And
Have you got your mobile phone with you at the moment? Could I take that from you, please?
Of course, I knew my phone was in my pocket, and I knew it's gonna come up. If people get involved in accidents and people die, you can't hide that. So, bad choice, really bad choice. When I seen the videos, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just something so disturbing. I have to pay for my mistake. So I had a chance to apologize, to say sorry to anybody who they lost their loved ones. People who are injured and they have to suffer with backflashes and injuries for the rest of their lives. It's hard. It's really hard to accept that. Plus, living for the rest of your life with that in your head is not easy either.
The judge hands down 8 years, 10 months, and a 14-plus year disqualification. Later documentaries circle one stubborn truth. A thumb on a phone can kill faster than a foot on a pedal. Onet walks away alive. 3 strangers, never 2. If you ever sat at a crossing and thought I can make it, this clip is your intervention. It's not a stalled car story, it's worse. Cyclists and scooters pour across rails in a steady stream while a train is already committed, horns screaming into wind and indifference.
DPL kenapa?
There's a fatal cocktail at work: misjudged distance, urban noise that muffles urgency, and the human tendency to follow the person in front of us even when the math is bad. The impact when it comes isn't a surprise so much as a sentence carried out. News hits chase the headline that everyone on the train was fine. Viewers ask the only question that mattered: what about the people on the bikes? Digging past the first wave of coverage reveals the outcome everyone feared: at least 2 lives lost. In the pause after the clip ends, you can hear your own pulse and maybe the ghosts of every time you cheated a barrier and didn't pay for it. On May 31, 2022, users across crime-adjacent subreddits, rprison, rxcons, rfelon, noticed the same post from a handle calling itself criminology student. The pitch sounded dry and academic. Hi, I'm Brian. I'm running a study on how emotions and personality traits shape decisions while committing crimes. Participants, the post explained, would recount their most recent offense, even if it never led to a conviction, and then complete several standardized measures. The survey lived on an official look inside. The author signed with a full name, Brian Koberger, in a DeSales University email. Skeptics exist on Reddit by default. but the institutional veneer, the wording, and the ethics-style disclaimer soothed most concerns. The questions were clinical, yet oddly specific. How did you approach the target? How did you enter? What did you do before leaving? How did you exit the scene? It read like a blueprint request. Weeks rolled by, then the morning of November 13, 2022, Moscow, Idaho. Dispatchers took a call from a trembling voice at a house on King Road. Officers arrived expecting a medical emergency and stepped into a murder scene that would shake a university town. 4 students killed by a knife attack around 4 a.m.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency? 1122.
A surviving roommate later recalled glimpsing a masked figure, then locking her door, intoxicated and terrified. Convinced she must have imagined it, investigators found little, only a knife sheath under one victim. The DNA wasn't in CODIS. No forced entry, no theft, no obvious motive. So detectives went wide. Neighborhood surveillance, traffic cams, late-night drive-bys. They flagged the white Hyundai Elantra, looping the area before the murders and rocketing away afterward. The plate trail, phone metadata, and geofencing drew a circle around 28-year-old Brian Christopher Koberger, a WSU PhD student in criminology, the same name from that Reddit post. Phone records suggested prior passes by the house and a suspicious hours-long phone blackout exactly when the killings occurred. When the police finally moved, he was 2,500 miles away at his parents' Pennsylvania home. Post-arrest DNA matched the sheath. He denied everything, then to avoid the death penalty, took a deal. On July 23, 2025, he received 4 consecutive life sentences. People would later revisit that study with fresh horror. It looked less like scholarship and more like reconnaissance, an attempt to crowdsource criminal best practices and pitfalls. As for motive, speculation ranges from profound mental health struggles. He wrote about depersonalization and life feeling like a movie, to misogynistic fixation and a wild fascination with serial killers. Whatever narrative one prefers, the outcome is the same. 4 young lives stolen in a survey that reads like a confession by proxy. Rural Murray County, Georgia, April 24, 2023. Bus 1686 winds along Old Grade Road. Narrow asphalt, deep ditches, corners with advisory limits that dip to 20 miles per hour. A dozen students from elementary through high school jostle between the familiar high-back seats that are supposed to compartmentalize bodies in a crash. No belts because most states still don't require them. At the wheel, Lonnie Bruce Simpson, a seasoned driver who's done this route so many times. The curves have names. Then a tuba shifts behind him. He reaches back for 2, maybe 3 seconds, long enough for the front tires to kiss the edge, catch a rut, and turn a school morning into a physics lesson. The bus tips, slides, and slams. 12 young ones are hurt. Everything from whiplash and concussions to fractures and, for one girl, a broken hip that means a long road to surgery and rehab. The driver walks away. Settlements later total $940,000. No criminal charges stick, and the official cause reads like every safety poster ever printed. Driver distraction, compounded by speed and rural road geometry. Mechanics find no failure. Lawyers find no villain bigger than a glance away. Parents watch the footage and keep replaying the same frames. The moment heads hit ceiling, the arc back to the aisle. The realization that compartmentalization is not a seatbelt.
Example of what can happen when you take your eyes off the road for a split second. Hit the ceiling in the bus, then came back down and landed hard on the seat in front of her, and then ended up in the aisle. To watch that video and see those kids go flying in there, there was babies on that bus.
On roads like this, with stakes like these, relying on foam and faith feels less like policy and more like a gamble. Street festivals blur into chaos even when no one brings horns. In the Spanish port city, a bull run funnels adrenaline through tight corners and sometimes spills into places it was never meant to go. The camera catches the animal breaking from the scripted course and discovering a new theater, a quay lined with concrete, railings, and men who mistake bravado for a plan. The bull locks onto movement and commits. Head low, legs pistoning, mass plus momentum doing what physics designed. Someone goes airborne, someone else rolls under a barrier 2 seconds too late. Locals shrug grimly because this isn't rare. The sea breeze doesn't make 1,200 pounds of muscle easier to turn. The surprise isn't that the bull found a port, it's that more people didn't find a hospital. Tradition is one thing, meeting it in person is another. February 11, 2025, the Sun Metro Maintenance Complex near El Paso International hums with ordinary work, buzzes up on 4-post hydraulic lifts, torque specs on tablets, checklists that have kept the city moving for years. Many of those coaches sip CNG, cleaner than diesel, stored in high-pressure cylinders that turn chemistry and compression into miles. On this afternoon, ordinary slips. A bus drops off its lift, whether from a missed lock, a mechanical fault, or a moment's inattention, and the falling mass ruptures a gas cylinder and mangles a nearby control panel. High-pressure methane vents with a banshee scream. Somewhere, metal on metal, friction, a static snap, ignition. The camera catches workers sprinting through orange light, a woman ducking with her forearm over her face, and 2 mechanics, Ruben Ibarra, 29, and German Garcia, caught in the pulse of a fireball you can feel through the screen. The alarm tree lights up, 100 plus firefighters, nearly 50 units, 3 hours of relay lines and defensive streams before the last flame gutters out around 4:40 p.m. By then, the building is a skeleton and families are at hospitals. Ibarra dies 2 days later. Garcia survives weeks longer before his body yields. 11 others are treated for burns, fractures, and smoke, pain that heals mostly. The fire marshal rules it accidental. Impact, puncture, release, spark. Cleanup drags into August 2025. The post-mortem questions start piling as high as the debris. Were lift locks verified? Were cylinder guards robust enough? Were gas detection and emergency shutoffs positioned to matter in 2 seconds when they would have? CNG helps cities breathe easier, but maintenance around pressurized fuel is a cathedral of details. Miss one and the room can turn to sun. A front page r/Ask Reddit thread in 2014 asked for near-death experiences. One reply from Chef Justice 25 reads like a slow burn horror short. As a missionary in Brazil, he and his companion meet a disheveled American expat who calls himself Bickford. Fluent English, decades abroad, manic charm. Local church leaders warn, avoid him. The pair keep meeting anyway, in public spots, hoping the daylight protects them. Eventually, Bickford invites them to his home in the jungle. Against instinct, they go. They follow him through waist-high growth to a collapsing shack with no power, no water, and the aura of a structure lived in by obsession. Every piece of furniture is smashed. The walls and ceilings are coated in chalk scrawl, dates, pleas for forgiveness, and worst of all, names and ages of children with graphic notes. There are jars, rotting food, and he proudly demonstrates rats he keeps and calls back with a sound, speaking to them like pets. The missionaries carefully pretend this is normal and ask to leave before dark. At the door, Bickford suggests a shortcut. It leads away from the road. They insist on the original trail, stammering polite refusals. The audio, which the poster secretly recorded, matches the memory for beat. Bickford pressing, the pair deflecting, the jungle pressing in.
You know, when I call like this, they come back.
Oh, here they are, the rats.
Yes. 125. You can catch him and say hello. This is a female.
Do you not put the collars on all of them, or?
No, not in the old ones. These are the first. These I even leave the tails on.
Normally you clip them off?
Yes.
How come?
I have a little sister, a pair of sisters.
You write yourself notes on the...
Sometimes I do.
That's neat.
I have electronic schedule. How do you call it? Electronic agent. But now it's in San Juan there. I got it. I wrote on every wall.
We better get back to our house at night here.
Okay.
But it was nice to come out here to see where you live and everything.
Let me return that little rat.
Well, can you lead us back out?
Yes, of course. But there's a shorter way to out.
No, we can go out the same way that we came in.
Same way is fine. Think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So no problem.
Please come this way. All this way to the gate is so wet. You're going to.
It's okay, no. I'd actually prefer to go that way, because that way wasn't so bad.
Oh. I know. Well, there's a short. Remember that street I told you?
Mm-hmm.
The street is closer here from this way.
Let's go.
And we can pass by the same place we were 2 minutes ago. But
we can go back just the same way. That way we can learn it better.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we can learn it better for the next time.
All right.
The SK, reporting him to local and federal police, and move apartments a week later. No ending, no arrest to point to, just the raw recording of a path not taken, and the sick certainty that if they'd followed, the forest would have swallowed the story instead. Back in 2010, Jason Crummy walked into Memorial Hospital's cafeteria with a consumer camera and a rumor, a little girl apparition sprinting through the dining area after hours. He narrates in that brave but not brave voice every investigator has used at least once.
Alright, we're at Subway at Memorial Hospital, and there's been reports of ghost activity. Maybe we'll get lucky and capture a ghost. It's the ghost of a little girl. Oh my god, there she was.
And then a small figure zips across the open floor, fast, low, precise, exactly where staff say they've seen her. Jason gasps, an unscripted, breathless, there she was. The appearance lasts only a blink, but that's what makes it sticky. Hoaxes usually linger long enough to sell you. This bolts through frame like a runner eager to avoid all attention. Could it be a living person? Maybe. But Jason pans immediately. The surrounding space is clinically empty. Chairs stacked, counters closed, no place to hide. Security glass reflections don't line up either. If this was a setup, it was executed with a kind of planning that leaves traces. If it wasn't, then the cafeteria's graveyard shift had company. The alarm comes late and smoke comes fast. In Canaan, Michigan, an apartment stairwell becomes a chimney and a mother faces a clock with no numbers left. Down is fire, up is heat, sideways is a second-story balcony and a patch of ground that suddenly looks like mercy. There is no good option, only the one that lets her drop 2 small bodies and then follow. Outside, neighbors plead, stack arms, stretch jackets. Inside, the cause is insultingly preventable. Someone decided to drag a burning charcoal grill, or carbo, outside instead of dousing it. The footage is sickening, not because of gore, but because you can feel the calculus in her chest. How many breaths do we have? How far is far enough? How do I make sure the landing doesn't break with a fire hazard? They jump, they live, and somewhere in the smoke is a lesson that extinguishers are cheap and denial is lethal. Shireen Ann posts late off-camera footfalls or refuse to behave like upstairs neighbors, heavier, nearer than the long path echo you only get in your own hallway. She sweeps the place empty. The recording that follows is worse. The bedroom doorway sits a dark, human-height figure, not a coat on a chair, not a curtain full depth where there should flat. She didn't clock it in real time, the lens did. That mismatch is why this lands. When your brain wants to find a rational anchor and the footage removes it, you're left with that uniquely adult fear. There might not be a grown-up in the house after all. Posted by Life Patient 6751, this one hurts because of the backstory. Their friend Dylan dies unexpectedly days before a planned birthday visit. Alone in the apartment later, the boyfriend films a bedroom door that opens and closes on cue.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. All right. All right, that. Do it again. Do it again. Okay. Shadow? Shadow? What is it?
He whispers, "Do it again," and the slab creaks wider, like someone pushing with the flat of a palm. He asks again. It swings back. A cat freezes in that predator meets panic posture, ears fixed, eyes glassy, tail locked, which is exactly how animals respond to things they can't categorize. Is it pressure differentials? Absolutely possible. If other doors or windows are open and hinges are loose, you can get movement, but the synchronicity is brutal, a direct request, a beat, and motion. In grief, we reach for patterns that comfort us. Sometimes the patterns reach back. Whether this is airflow behaving like a metronome or Dylan keeping one last promise, the timing sits in your chest. Highway dashcam crashed a dark cry. The driver spots a lonely tire tumbling down the lane. No vehicle attached, no owner in sight. They do everything right. Hazards on, pull off, wave traffic down. Then probability flicks its cigarette. A passing car strikes the wheel square, converting rotational energy into a terrifying, unpredictable projectile.
Ну кто-то же отгребет, понимаешь, пиздатый.
In a blink, it's a cannonball, skipping off asphalt toward the Good Samaritans who stop to help. The camera jerks. Someone ducks. The wheel sails past and buries itself in a field with a final mocking bounce. If you ever wondered why seasoned responders approach debris like it's loaded, this is why. Momentum doesn't care that you're being helpful. It only cares about vectors. On February 7, 2017, a throwaway account appeared in Our Legal Advice. A woman 9 months pregnant feared DCS or CPS would seize her newborn at the hospital. The trigger, her husband's 11-year-old marijuana felony, a youthful non-distribution charge he'd completed probation for long ago. The caseworker had already visited, found nothing amiss, and both parents passed drug screens, yet the worker warned the baby could be taken in the delivery ward. Commenters, some former CPS staff, said the quiet part. CPS doesn't open cases on fetuses with no other children in the home. Something was off. The OP hired counsel. The truth was worse than paranoia. The caseworker had no affiliation with child services. She'd built a convincing facade, leveraging real background facts to intimidate the couple and position herself for access at birth. Police got involved. The hospital was alerted. The couple relocated to family until delivery. No public resolution followed, and the imposter's identity never hit the news cycle. But there are echoes. In 2014, Greenfield, Indiana police warned about a woman impersonating DCS. In 2023, an Ohio woman, Lisa N., was arrested for posing as CPS in an attempted abduction of a 4-year-old young one. She allegedly framed it as teaching the parents a lesson. If these cases connect, the pattern is chilling. Learn a family's soft spots, weaponize bureaucratic fear, and insert yourself at the most vulnerable moment, postpartum. The Redditor's attorney in a skeptical comment section may have blogged a crime we'll never fully see. It's a reminder, always verify credentials. Call the agency back on an official number, and bring a lawyer into the room the moment your gut tells you something's wrong. Uploaded by Paranormal, a static security cam watches a quiet service lane where a few young ones make off with bikes. Then without fanfare, a pair of shadowy legs glide through from frame left to right. No torso, no head, just a sensation of mass without detail. Seconds later, the same darkness brushes toward one youngster. He turns as if tapped, eyes narrowing like he felt air shift. The figure returns once more, then the clip ends rudely. Shadow people lore splits into camps, sleep paralysis phantoms, low-light pareidolia, interdimensional travelers. This isn't a bedroom hallucination. It's an outdoor, multi-subject surveillance angle. Could it be compression artifacts or a person masked by motion blur and poor illumination? Sure, but the silhouette's consistency across passes and the interaction cueing a human reaction pushes it out of glitch territory into something was there, even if your explanation is mundane. Maria Martin films a classic cake moment, everyone crowding, songs swelling, candles throwing that warm tungsten halo, and then the flames all snuff at once, before the guest of honor even leans in.
Mira, creía que había sido grabado haciendo una broma. ¿La habéis grabado?
Maria whips the camera around to prove the draft theory wrong. Other candles nearby are burning steady. What's left? Rapid oxygen depletion right above the cake. Unlikely. A sneaky puff from someone out of frame. She pans pretty clean. Or an invisible trickster with impeccable comedic timing.
Subí un vídeo con mi amigo en el cumpleaños de una de ellas, en el cual se apagan las velas de manera un poco misteriosa, sin que nadie esté soplando o nadie esté cerca. Si alguien ve algo más que nosotros no veamos, que sea más experto sobre la dirección del fuego que puede haber pasado, realmente ella no estaba soplando, y es que en la dirección en la que vemos que viene no había nadie, porque es que el resto estábamos detrás cantándole. O sea, no sé, nos quedamos todos porque ya veis la siguiente reacción.
It's tiny, but weirdness loves the small stage. Lighters that won't spark, matches that hiss out, flames that behave as if someone cupped a hand and exhaled. You don't need a ghost to ruin a wish, but if one showed up, this is exactly the kind of petty flex it would pull. Dawn in the Chinese countryside, a familiar slope framed in a kitchen window, the same bridge you've traced with your eyes for years. Then a sound like a freight train under the earth, and the outline shifts. No collapses, as if some giant hand pulled a rug nobody knew existed. dust geysers upward. Trees ride the flow like matchsticks. By the time you put your shoes on, the hill has become a tongue of broken earth, pushing into the valley. Locals say it happened on February 18, 2025. Formal reports are scarce, but the lens doesn't lie. Landslides are slow motion to satellites and near instant to anyone standing too close. They don't just bury homes, they erase landmarks in your head, the map you used to be yourself. Lex from Lake, the guard who bailed. User bit6737 shares night watch footage. A security guard leans over a low wall at 2:15 a.m., listening to his radio, scanning a blacked out perimeter. He suddenly drops behind cover like a soldier who's heard incoming. Seconds scroll. Then, just at the edge, a pair of running legs hammer past the line, splashing up from the direction of the lake. Instead of any logical approach path. No flashlight, no upper body, just a sense of speed and proximity that makes your stomach cold. The guard abandons the post and heads inside. Trained eyes don't spook easily, they catalog. His body language isn't theatrical, it's tactical retreat. If it was a trespasser, why come through water? If it was a trick of Vangels, why did he move before anything visible appeared? Sometimes the instinct that keeps you alive doesn't wait for a full silhouette. Just after 4 a.m. on March 12, 2025, Hayward officers roll up to Virginia Street address where the quiet of the East Bay has already been shattered. Body cams catch the door being rammed, a chorus of commands, and the realization that someone inside is screaming.
You want me to kick it open? I can hear. I think he's in the house.
Hey, someone's screaming in there. Hey.
I got you. Go. Yeah, she's yelling help. I got it. I got it. Hey, please! Hey, please! Hey, come back! Come back! Come back! Get back! With you! With you! Stay right here! Stay right here! Stay right here! Hey, show me your hands! Hey, he's going through the backyard. Stop his fence. Ray, blue jacket, about 6 foot tall. Over the fence.
The man at the center, Nathan Hang, 41, a Marine veteran with 2 Iraq tours, has come apart under the weight of PTSD and a meth relapse. Convinced his children are in danger, he's prying at the entry with a screwdriver, leaving splinters and shattered panes in his wake. Officers force the door, see the wreckage, then catch sight of Nathan bolting through a blown-out patio slider. He scrambles over fences and onto a roof, ignoring the flood of warnings.
Get down on the ground!
When he drops back down, the standoff compresses to seconds, and then becomes a tangle of limbs, prongs, and shouted instructions. Multiple taser cycles deploy. Nathan rips barbs out and keeps fighting, muscles locked with adrenaline and fear.
North is that way, so he should be coming. He's right here. Get here. He's coming over right here. Hey man, get on the ground now. Get on the ground, Hayward PD. Don't reach in your pockets.
Hey, get on the ground!
Telling him now. Stay on the ground. He's got a tase him. He's got a screwdriver. Stay on the ground.
Get on the ground now!
Stay on the ground, dude.
Don't move! Drop it! Get on the ground! Got me!
Hit him. Stop fighting, dude. Get behind him. He's locked up.
Get in there! Hey, get in there! Drop it! Drop it!
Put the driver down!
Drop the screwdriver!
Roll him over. Roll over. Roll over.
Get on
on
his
your
back.
stomach.
Hey, you're gonna get it again, bro.
Give me your hand now. Stop being dumb, dude. Give me your hand. Give us your hand. Give us your arms. You want one? I don't know. Can't get it. What is it? Like, hands down. Give
your other hand.
After a grinding 2 minutes, they finally cuff him. Medics strap him to a gurney and, trying to calm the storm inside his chest, administer midazolam. Minutes later, en route, his heart stops. CPR, emergency routing to Eden, transfer. Then days of vigil that end with a death certificate citing cardiac arrest with meth toxicity, an enlarged heart, and the strain of the struggle. Internal reviewers log 50+ verbal commands and standard responses to an armed resisting subject. No criminal charges follow. His family files a federal suit, arguing that what Nathan needed was de-escalation and a clinician, not repeated shocks. The footage leaves a hard question hanging in the air. When panic meets policy, does anyone actually win? This is 28-year-old Malik Dario. On January 24, 2025, West Palm Beach officers are dispatched to a Crocs outlet after staff report a man trying to pay with counterfeit cash. When officers in mall security spot the suspect in the parking lot, he bolts, cutting across lanes and sprinting toward a medical plaza. The radio chatter tightens, description, direction to travel, and the warning that he can run.
I just threw a couple $100 counterfeit cash to try to do a transaction.
He's running towards Embassy. He is black male, cream color hoodie, black pants.
Come on. Come on.
10-4. 17-14 hours.
Presidential.
10-4. 17-15 hours. I'm trying to find out where security's at.
West Palm 10-12 with them. Presidential Medical Plaza.
10-12 Presidential Medical Plaza, 17-15 hours.
Look, I've been sitting on my ass for 6 hours. You dumbass. What's your name?
Malik Dario.
Stand up. Put your hands together.
Moments later, officers recover over $1,600 in suspected forged bills from Malik, enough to trigger a referral to the U.S. Secret Service for a federal look at the notes and any pattern behind them.
Tell you what, this boy can run.
You know I got your back.
You right here? No.
I know. Store?
Yes, sir.
And
it was Crocs. And I'll go figure out the other stores.
Witness?
Yes.
From Crocs, start there. Just
yes,
that one.
Yes, sir.
Anything sharp on you? You see me phone me any weapon?
Come over here.
And we're going to the 20th.
So we went out with them because some of it's fake.
Okay. What is this address?
So still want to count it just so we can document it, but maybe keep what's in here and here and what's in here and here.
Did you get hit by a car or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna have the medics come. Figure it out.
Alright, so some of the money is supposed to be fake. Okay. So there's money in here and there's money in here. So we'll need to count it. We still gotta go back to Target.
Yeah.
At the counter, the cashier explains their routine. Marker test, initials on the bill. On the very first 20, the ink turns dark immediately. Malik snatches his cash back, offers a card. It declines, and he promises to step out to call the bank, then disappears.
So what? We're just gonna double check with our supervisor before we do it. But what essentially we'll do is we'll read you guys some like instructions, and then we'll just show you an individual, and then you let us know whether or not you've seen them before.
And then how you know and all that. Simple.
But we'll read you the instructions. We're just gonna double check with them just to make sure that they're ready for it, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Her initials are literally on the dollar bill.
Okay. Oh, yours are?
Yeah.
Because you have to like sign off.
We sign off on her initials. And the
Okay.
first bill instantly went black. Like, it didn't even go through. And that's when he was like, oh, I'm sorry, let me try and pay with my card. So. And then the card declined. So basically, he's like, I'm gonna go put money in the card, I'll be right back, and didn't come back. And she told me. And I was like, that's weird. Her initials are on it.
Okay. Sounds good. Cool. All right.
Thank
We'll
you
be
so
back
much.
again.
We'll be here still. Continue scanning everything, tell him his total. I think he's paying with card, but he's not, so I press X on the machine, and he gives me 620s, because his total was like 116.
Okay.
So he gave me 120. And we like check the bills with like the counterfeit pen.
Okay.
And we write our initials on it. And I go to, as soon as I go to start writing my initials, it instantly goes like black. Like, it doesn't clear, it's like instantly black. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try and pay with my card. So I was like, okay, so I give him the money back, and he, like, I didn't even get to check everything, like, it was just the first bill. And then he tries to pay with his card, and the card declines. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go try and call my bank. But he's like really like jittery at this point. Like, I'm gonna try and call my bank, my card's not working, I'll be right back. And like walks out the store.
Okay.
Meanwhile, supervisors inventory the seized currency. It looks convincing at a glance, but the paper feel is off, slicker, thinner, and several bills bear the not legal tender style tells officers are trained to find.
It feels fake.
Yeah, probably just copied.
It feels.
No, that's different than the movie. You know, motion picture money.
Well, yeah.
That one, yeah.
This is different.
Doesn't it feel weird?
Yeah, it feels like a different kind
like
of paper.
slimy, like
different kind of print.
Let me. O'Day, can you just take a picture of this and send it to Palacios? Fly away. My phone's in my pocket. Should I just grab one more out just to see if they all kind of look? Is there more than 10? Oh, there's. Yeah, they don't feel right.
Oh, that's probably what set the lady off.
It's like feels like
some kind of heavier kind of paper.
All right. So they look good though. I mean, in terms of they just feel a little off.
Color's great.
Back at the substation, Malik describes the chase from his side. He ran when he spotted security, thought the vehicle would stop, then felt the hit as he tried to pivot away. Photos document the scrapes and a bump to the back of his head for the case file.
Come on, bro. I'm here to just figure out what happened today, okay? And how you got injured and...
I wasn't here. I was using counterfeit money.
Okay.
The one store marked the bill and so my thing was, let me get about it. I seen the security guard, so I was just trying to get about the parking lot. As I seen them follow me, I did flee, and as I'm running, the security car, like just full speed, boom.
So you got hit by the security car. It wasn't one of our guys. It wasn't West Palm Beach car or anything?
I'm going to tell you this. I got hit so hard that I hit my head and my back hurt. So it could have been a police car because they wasn't looking the intentions to stop. Like, literally. Like,
but was it like orange lights on the top or?
No, it wasn't. I didn't see.
What color was the car?
It just looked, when I looked like a little bit side, the same color like your uniform, that color. Right. As I fell on the floor, like, yeah, like.
With witness ID, recovered currency, and flight from the scene, the paper trail is straightforward. Detectives flag at least 2 third-degree felonies tied to forged currency and plan to forward the batch to the Secret Service after booking. The store's policy complicates things. They won't prosecute on their end since no merchandise left the door. But counterfeit investigations don't hinge on retail laws. They hinge on the bills themselves. By the end of the shift, Malik Dario is booked on felony possession of forged bills, felony uttering forged bills, and resisting an officer without violence. Night sky, a small crew on a balcony passing around a high-powered laser and pointing at a stubborn light that isn't behaving like any plane they know. The audio track is half jokes, half adrenaline until the sky answers. A hard white flash blooms, followed by a rolling thump that vibrates in your ribs, even through a phone speaker. Suddenly, all the UFO banter feels thin. The more mundane explanation is actually scarier up close. What you're hearing looks and sounds like transformer or substation component letting go, a surge slamming through a circuit until something falls with theatrical violence. To the camera, it reads as extraterrestrial. To the grid, it reads as an expensive, very human mistake. Bronx, New York, October 1, 2025. Early morning quiet shattered by an explosion. Phones record as a residential building suddenly caves inward, the top floors folding like paper.
Oh, the half of my Billy just fell, huh? Oh, the half of the Billy just fell, huh? Oh! Oh!
The whole building just broke down. Oh my God. The whole thing exploded.
Nah, y'all gotta check on y'all people's ASAP, bro. Bro, what the blew up? Bro, what?
Smoke rises, neighbors shout in disbelief, while others sprint to check on relatives. Officials confirm a partial collapse in the Mott Haven neighborhood, likely from a gas explosion in a boiler shaft. Miraculously, no fatalities are reported. Still, for residents watching their homes disintegrate in real time, that relief comes with a dose of disbelief that anything so normal could vanish so quickly. A hiker's camera pans across a breathtaking ridge, but just beyond the frame lies a 200-foot drop. The man inches along a narrow mountain trail carved into sheer cliff face. No railing, no safety gear, just one wrong step between life and oblivion. From afar, the path seems harmless, even spacious, but the footage captures the uneasy tension of every movement, the crunch of gravel underfoot, the echoing wind below. It's a quiet yet powerful scene that shows how thin the line is between peace and peril when you venture too close to nature's edge. Vassouras, Brazil, September 23, 2025. A semi-truck approaches a railroad crossing just as a train barrels through. Two angles capture what happens next. The train smashes into the truck's trailer, dragging it like paper down the tracks. Metal shrieks, sparks spray, and the cab crumples. But somehow, both the driver and assistant crawl out alive. Authorities confirm neither sustained serious injuries, a statement that seems impossible once you've seen the footage.
Still on one.
No shit. Sit down. Sit down. Shot. Come here. Hey.
On September 15, 2025, around 12:10 p.m., Anaheim police received a call from a resident reporting a suspicious man on the 1100 block of North Columbine Street. The caller said the man, who was unknown to the neighborhood, was standing in a neighbor's driveway holding a brick. They added that he appeared to be homeless and possibly under the influence of drugs. Dispatch entered the report as a suspicious subject and queued it for response until an officer became available. Roughly 30 minutes later, around 12:40 p.m., an officer took it upon himself to respond. Around the same time, another call came in, this time from an employee at John Marshall Elementary School, saying the same man was now carrying a broken shovel. A few minutes after that report, an officer arrived on scene and located the man, later identified as 36-year-old Rudy Anthony Martinez II, walking down the street with a shovel in hand. As the officer stopped his patrol car, Martinez looked toward him, lifted the shovel above his head, and charged at the vehicle. The officer stepped out, at which point Martinez began striking the patrol car multiple times with a shovel before turning his attention directly toward the officer. Raising the shovel again, he advanced aggressively, prompting the officer to open fire.
No shit. Sit down. Sit down. Shot. Come here. Hey. $125. Got a 998. The subject right now. I'm at Falmouth and Holly.
After the shooting, officers immediately requested Anaheim Fire and Rescue and began performing life-saving measures, including chest compressions and applying chest seals. Paramedics soon arrived, took over medical care, and transported Martinez to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead. A group of workers decide to remove an old sign after installing a new one right beside it. Their plan: attach a rope and pull. The result? Predictable disaster. The pole gives way, swinging into nearby cables and collapsing with a violent crack. Debris scatters as they sprint back, one man shouting, "It's fine, but nothing about it is fine." It's one of those clips that perfectly captures the line between comedy and catastrophe. What could go wrong made real. An urban explorer climbs to the top of a towering radio mast hundreds of feet above the ground. The city looks like a toy set below him. He breathes heavily, triumphant, until he realizes the access hatch he climbed through has jammed shut. Panic sets in, the camera shakes as he fumbles with the latch, metal clanking, the sky yawning open around him. For a long moment, he's trapped, alone, exposed, nowhere to go but down. Finally, with a desperate shove, the hatch clicks open. Relief floods through his voice. He survives, but the footage leaves no room for glamour. It's not bravery, it's luck. A chilling reminder that the difference between a viral video and a fatal fall can be a single locked hatch. It's the middle of the afternoon in Brooklyn, broad daylight. People are walking, traffic's passing, and everything seems normal until two teenagers appear, waving massive machetes. Captured on video by the Borough Park Shamrim Neighborhood Patrol, one of the teens dressed in a red hoodie can be seen gripping a long machete as he stands near 43rd Street and New Utrecht Avenue. Within moments, a group gathers around him, including another boy in black armed with a second blade. Then suddenly they start running. Witnesses say the two twisted teens weren't just showing off. Police later revealed the pair allegedly attacked an 18-year-old man during a dispute, stabbing him in the back and slashing his hip. But that wasn't all. The same duo reportedly confronted a 26-year-old man at another intersection, this time threatening him with their machetes in the middle of the street. Panic rippled through the neighborhood as the boys continued to swing their weapons in plain sight. Thankfully, quick-acting witnesses and members of the Shamrim Patrol managed to track them down, alerting nearby officers. Video later shows NYPD officers tackling one of the teens to the ground, handcuffing the boy in red, as bystanders watched in disbelief. Both suspects, just 14 and 15 years old, were arrested and charged with gang assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. The 18-year-old victim was rushed to Maimonides Medical Center and is now recovering in stable condition. What began as an ordinary Monday afternoon turned into a nightmare on the streets of Borough Park, proof that sometimes the scariest things don't happen in the dark, they happen in broad daylight. Drones aren't just for capturing beautiful landscapes or cinematic views. Sometimes they become lifelines. In India, a 23-year-old man found himself stranded on the side of a massive cliff, nearly half a mile high. He had been hiking with two friends when he slipped and fell into a steep ravine with no way out. Injured and trapped, his only hope was rescue. His friends quickly called for help, but with a man stuck in such a dangerous position, getting to him would take time, almost 2 full days. For 40 long hours, the drone hovered nearby, acting as his lifeline, delivering small packs of food and water to keep him alive while rescuers planned their climb. Finally, after nearly 2 days of preparation, search teams reached the man. Using ropes and harnesses, they carefully lowered him to safety. It's a powerful reminder. Sometimes technology built for exploration ends up saving lives. A brief context-free video shows a young one lying across a threshold, no adults in view. The child flinches, glances toward an unseen point in the room, and then slides backward as if pushed or struck. No hand, no foot, no pet entering frame. Skeptics point to the simplest hidden causes: an off-camera tug line, a sibling just out of sight, a tilted floor. Believers know the timing and body language, the way the youngster braces before the motion, as if aware of a presence just beyond the jam. With no providence, no wider shot, and no metadata, the clip remains a Rorschach. You bring your priors, and the pixels oblige. A zoo vet turns to jot notes beside a tiger enclosure, then the fence erupts into motion. A foreleg as thick as a forearm shoots through the mesh, claws hooking her jacket and yanking her towards steel. You can hear the conflict in every scrape. Workday routine versus a predator that has never forgotten what it is. A colleague dives in, levering fabric, prying at claws, and somehow breaks the grip. The vet stumbles back, breathing hard, eyes wide with the knowledge that the barrier is only ever probability. Captivity trains behavior, it does not delete instinct. This 30-second scare reads like a footnote until you imagine an inch more sleep, a half-second slower partner, a looser bolt. A driver films a police chase at night. Sirens and lights thread a neighborhood. The target is in a car. It's a moving shape that scrambles up a flat facade with a natural ease, then drops and runs bipedal. The officer later recounts responding to a burglary call and confronting an animal, upright, aggressive, not canine in gait. He fires in self-defense. The thing evades by scaling a wall without handholds. The witnesses' upload spreads fast, and the taxonomy war begins. Demon, worthing, the so-called dogman. Could it be a parkour runner in dark gear? A costume prank? Possibly. But the wall ascent in the headlights, if unassisted, would demand grip and leverage outside normal human ability. Absent clear frames, the event sits in that queasy category between legend and report.
Address of the emergency?
Weber Road, Weber and 231, South Florida.
Okay, what's going on over there?
There's a guy in a red maroonish long sleeve shirt and black pants with a chain that is walking with a rifle. Not sure of the exact gun. Not even sure if it's BB, but I know a car went to turn off Weber just a second ago, and he took the gun off and pointed it at the car as the car was turned.
Bay County, Florida. Before sunrise, 911 lines stack up. A man in a maroon top carrying a long gun and holstered sidearm, pointing at passing cars.
Weber Road with an assault rifle and found him.
Okay, what is your name?
And
Okay.
I was actually just heading home because this is the same guy that was stalking me at my work yesterday.
The deputy finds him as wearing a body cam that records every brittle second. The exchange starts measured. Convoys requests to set the shotgun down by the sling, but it ruptures when the man reaches for his pistol and draws.
Mr. Smith,
How do you know my name? I didn't give you my name.
I know you didn't.
reached for your gun. It don't work.
Mr. Smith.
I'm not reaching for mine.
I know
reach
you're not.
Reach for yours.
Mr. Smith.
Reach for your gun.
Grab that by the strap and put it down, please.
Camera on? I don't see no red
It's
light.
on.
Sure.
Mr. Smith, do you know where you're at?
Yeah.
Where you at?
Bay County. I'm on Edith. No, is this Edith Height? Nope.
It is not.
This is Carolina. Subdivision.
Okay. Can I take that off of you?
Huh?
Can I take that by the strap and get off of you?
You worried about it? You got a gun. You got two of them.
I know. You got two
Why
as
you
well.
want mine? So why you want just one?
Mr. Smith.
Hey, I'm telling you, you touched me, bro. I
Mr.
talked about
Smith.
this shit. Hey, one more. Hey,
grab it. Don't you touch it.
Don't. No fear,
Man, I
man.
got one at gunpoint.
No fear.
Put it down.
Muzzle flash, the deputy shouted, shots fired, impact stitching a patrol SUV, and then the scramble to cover and breathe. The gunman goes down but keeps squeezing. The deputy returns fire and, as soon as his threat stops, lunges forward to start CPR. He will live. The armed man will not.
Drop the gun! Drop it! I need code 3 now. I got shots fired. Bay, shots fired. One subject down.
We have his location.
Weber and 231. Back up, back up.
471, same traffic. 25A, covered Weber in 231.
That's simple.
Okay, 470 route code 3 from Penny in 231. 40's en route. 6-8 Bay, if we haven't already, fire an EMS around it.
The scene is stark, split-second intention, training under stress, and the grim pivot from deadly force to life-saving effort, all inside a minute. Dash-style footage shows a routine stop. The driver, nervous, polite, hands over license, explains she's using her mom's car, denies contraband.
This is my first time being pulled over.
All right. Can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so...
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's
Okay.
a birthday party. So,
Got it.
Not mine, but...
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
All right. Sit tight, sir. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is What the?
Sarah?
What the heck? Sarah? 3201.
The officer retreats to the cruiser to run tags. He returns within a minute and finds the driver's seat empty, engine still idling. No door slam on audio, no silhouette cutting across beam spread. He calls her name, radios in.
This is my first time being pulled over.
All right. Can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so...
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's
Okay.
a birthday party. So,
Got it.
Not mine, but...
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
All right. Sit tight, sir. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is What the?
Sarah?
What the heck? Sarah? 3201.
Skeptics quickly flag the clip as likely indie film ephemera or a manufactured short, framing as too centered, dialogue too clean. Others point to mismatches that don't fit a proper set either. Without an originating agency timestamp or production credits, it survives as an unnerving demonstration of how fast someone can not be there, and why chain of custody context matters when a video hits the feed stripped of source. A clip shared by Dart Image shows a one-leg snared dog on live rails, panic circling as a horn builds. The rescuers don't pause to film, they split tasks. One approaches low to keep the animal from twisting its limb worse. Another watches the curb for the headlight. A third works the limb free, either from a gap in a sleeper or a shifted plate, while someone else signals like mad. The camera shakes as the group surges backward, dog in arms, while the consist blurs through a second later. Online, it reads as heroics, and it is, but it's also a case study in improvised command. Assign lookout, assign hands, remove the hazard, then yourselves. Every second on an active right away is borrowed time. Here, coordination and calm shape just enough off clock to turn tragedy into a loud, trembling relief. Arizona High Desert, a 24-year-old traveler's road trip detours off pavement on the faith of a navigation gap.
Road trip gone horribly wrong. A young woman lost in the Arizona desert for 5 days, filming her struggle to survive on her cell phone right up until the moment she thought she would never see her loved ones again.
I love my family. Mom, Dad, Kaylee.
Recording a goodbye video to loved ones, something no one expects they'll ever have to do.
I just want to go home. I don't even want to do this trip anymore. I'm so scared.
Gas runs low, cell bars vanish, dusk erases landmarks. She parks near a fence line, spells a giant helping stones, rations water, and films short, tear-raw dispatches to her parents in case no one ever finds her.
On March 12th, Amber says she drives another hour and a half deeper into the middle of nowhere.
When I came to the fence and I was like, oh, there wasn't a road here, that's when I was like, this is not good. That's when I tried going into the GPS app and telling it to take me back. And it was like, sorry, you have no internet service.
For a brief moment, she's able to get cell service and immediately calls 911.
I was in such a panic state. When they said, what is the nature of your emergency? I just let out a sob and I said, please help me. And I heard it drop and I just...
With no cell service for her Google navigation app, Amber is about to lose a second precious resource. Hoping a sign of life will appear in the morning. She begins documenting her ordeal.
Hopefully it doesn't take too long to be found.
She's actually stranded on one of the largest cattle ranches in Arizona, run by Gary Wilson.
It has happened to several other people trying to get across this ranch. Google Earth tells you that you can, but this ranch is actually closed.
A cowboy usually patrols the area where Amber's parked, but again, Amber was out of luck.
He was gone for about 5 days, and that just happened to be the time that she...
They should last me for at least a week and a half.
It's now Wednesday, March 15th, and Amber plans to stay put until help arrives.
I'm not here for 63 hours now.
Back in Texas, Dad begins an active hunt for his daughter.
I posted in the private Facebook. I said, look, my daughter's missing. I need some people to try to find her, and this is the last place I saw her.
The problem? Stephen references Amber's last known location in New Mexico, where her app pinged him back on Saturday.
Helicopters pass to hide and notice. A ranch hand who normally patrolled this quadrant is off the grid. After 4 nights, she sees a truck and sprints barefoot. It never looks back.
Immediately jumped out of my car and tried to run after them, not thinking about my feet, not thinking about anything else, because I was like, if this is where I get out, it doesn't matter. Just tried to chase down a truck, but they didn't see me in their rear view. I'm okay. Almost exactly 100 hours out here now, and all I can keep thinking is how much I want my daddy and Mom. I don't want to be alone anymore.
Day 5, she chooses motion over waiting, limping east toward a glinting tower, redialing 911 70 times until a few words slip through, enough for a dispatcher to triangulate a search area.
I started crying and saying, please help me.
She tells the operator she's somewhere between Havasu Park and the highway that goes into the Southern Rim Visitor Center.
And she's like, in the Grand Canyon. I was like, no, ma'am, I'm in the desert. I've been here for 5 days. And I don't know what she was going to say after that because it was gone.
Just like that, the call dropped.
I was just heartbroken, I guess, in that moment.
She doesn't know it.
We had a virtually unreadable 911 call, no location, woman who's panicking.
But she provided just enough information to point to Arizona's Department of Public Safety in the right direction.
Air crews spot the car, then her note, "Not here, walked east" for a signal. Then finally a figure jumping in the road.
I look down and we see must have been like 20, 30-foot letters, word help, written out of rocks on the ground next to the car, and we're like, this has got to be it.
They land their chopper, but Amber's not there. But the rescue team doesn't give up hope, because Amber wisely had left this message.
Said, "I'm not here. I walked east along the road to find cell phone signal. If you're reading this sign, please help me." And Jonah said, "Let's go." We loaded up and continued down the road from there.
And then I heard a chopper again. And that's when I saw the speck getting bigger.
And I look and I see someone jumping up and down on the road, waving at us.
And I was like, they're coming for me.
Rescue feels like a dam break. In the debrief, she owns the mistakes, under fueling, trusting a thin gray line on a map, and credits the basics that saved her, staying with the vehicle until moving made sense, signaling big, conserving water, leaving a plan on paper. Tiny choices stacked into survival. A paddock camera records behavior no stockman wants to see. A horse wheels on a sheep, sharing its space, hooks under with a neck, and whips the smaller animal skyward before it smashes the ground. The sheep doesn't get up. Horses are prey animals and usually tolerant or avoidant with mixed stock, which is why this jolts. There is no feed competition visible, no cornering, no lamb pestering at flanks. Possibilities, pain or neurological issues in the horse. Resource guarding learned from prior harassment. Frustration displacement if the animal is confined without outlets, or a heat cycle related change in reactivity. Whatever the route, mixed species pens aren't set and forget. Behavioral shifts can be abrupt and lethal. Post-incident, the only sensible path is separation, vet evaluation of the horse, and management changes. Online, outrage is cheap. Husbandry adjustments save the next life. A homeowner slides the heavy driveway gate shut. Instead of stopping, the panel rides past it, sends stop, jumps the track, and the moment the bottom rollers lose guidance, the mast tips and crashes sideways. Gates like this rely on three things working together: a properly anchored track, intact rollers or bogies, and a positive end catch that physically blocks over travel. If anyone is worn, misaligned, or missing, the entire structure becomes a freestanding wall on tiny wheels. Add a mild slope, wind load, or a pull at the wrong height, and gravity finishes the job. Inspection items are simple but critical. End stops with through bolts, intact caps at both ends of the track, no missing guide wheels, and a stop post that catches the gate nose. Grease hides damage. Clean, inspect, then lubricate. And never put hands through the mesh to tug. If the panel goes, you're in the crush zone. In this clip, a $10 steel end block and a periodic roller swap would have kept a multi-100-pound panel from turning into a falling object. At Kawaba Airport in Mogo, a Beechcraft King Air C90 GTI departs the center line and becomes a physics lesson. Surveillance shows the turboprop scudding sideways, wingtip digging, then the spar giving way as momentum carries the fuselage toward the Futuro BM private hangar. The impact looms into flame. 2 fatalities are confirmed: the 42-year-old pilot Fernando Caja Barreto and 1 person inside the building. Until investigators publish cause, all you can do is sketch the menu: wet runway, crosswind gust, asymmetric thrust after a power anomaly, brake or steering failure, or an aborted takeoff without sufficient stop distance. King Airs are tough birds, but energy management at low altitude and high weight leaves no slack. The sequence underscores hangar vulnerability near runway ends and wide blast walls. EMAS beds or greater setbacks matter when things go sideways, literally. North Sulawesi, Indonesia. The KM Barcelona is a routine ferry until smoke threads from an upper deck and thickens into a moving wall. Videos from lifeboats and nearby craft show a ship transformed: orange light bathing rails, black columns punching the sky, people yelling for jackets and for names that don't answer back.
Kebakaran di depan Pulau Talise. Mohon pihak yang monitor ini, kami mohon bantuan.
Some leap together, clutching youngsters to their chests. Others bob in clusters, waiting for a shape on the horizon.
masuk Manado. Baru mau masuk Manado. Sebagai Salah kita. Allah. Oh, makasih Om. Iya. Pulang kenapa sana kapal terbakar? Dan puji Tuhan, Ner, Tante, Abi, Prisil, orang semua selamat.
The Navy Coast Guard and fishermen fled the scene, yanking bodies, leaving and lost over rubber gunwales. Early tallies, hundreds saved, several dead, more aboard than the manifest admits. A 2-month-old is revived, a pregnant woman is not. Cause under investigation, wiring, fuel, negligence, all the usual suspects. But each clip compresses the real stakes. Fire aboard is geometry, not drama. Climbs at corners, and in minutes, a steel world becomes a coastline of choices. Jump now or burn later. A traveling show in China sets a tiger on a platform for a memorable photo, then boosts young ones onto its back while handlers hover. The clip is short, the consequences could last lifetimes. A tiger's threshold to stimulus is razor thin under bright lights, amplified music, and crowd noise. Even a half swat is a catastrophic force. A startled flinch can send a youngster tumbling under claws. A restrained correction can cue a predatory reflex. Ethically, the scene is indefensible. Stressed apex predator is prop, and operationally, it's reckless. It's no surprise authorities shutter the act after the video goes wide. Public appetite for touch, the danger has finally met its counterweight. Viral accountability. If there is a lesson, it's simple. The safest interaction is distance. The most respectful photo is with a lens, and no family memory is worth betting against an animal's nature in a ring. Kanchanaburi, Thailand. A man opens his floating house's bath and stops cold. The room is alive. Hundreds of thousands of winged insects orbit the bulb, carpet the tile, and freckle the mirror like living soot.
เราเปิดในห้องน้ำให้มันมารวมกันอยู่ในห้องน้ำนะโอ้โหดูดิโอ้โหเหี้ยอาบน้ำไงวะมันคือแมลงอะไรวะ
On a reservoir home near a dam, this is almost certainly a synchronized emergence. Mayflies or flying termites, queuing off humidity, temperature, and light. The swarm rides at the brightest point. His bathroom lamp then mills until exhaustion drops them onto every surface. It's nightmare grade to walk into, but it's biology, not omen. Practical fixes: switch to yellow bug LED spectra, keep exterior lights off during peak emergence nights, and seal gaps around vents so attraction points aren't interior. His narration: shock moving to logistics. Tracks anyone who's lived near tropical water. The hatch happens. You coat, you clean, you swap bulbs, and you tell the story because no one believes the scale until they see it. Cleveland's Rockefeller Building, shuttered since 2022. Urban explorer Chris Urbex-Hill steps into a 17-story time capsule already under assault. Not from weather, but from people. Hallways are gutted, fixtures ripped, office doors flayed for copper.
Someone must have just recently pissed on the ground right here. That's gross. Wow, those are all bullet holes. The coronavirus. I think this when this place shut down was during the pandemic. People really in here shooting. It's a 9mm. That's crazy. It's crazy that places like this with so much detail get destroyed and demolished. Bro, more bullet casings. Look at that. That's crazy.
Then come the details that sour curiosity into dread. 9mm casings pepper the carpet, fresh cigarette smoke hangs in stairwells, labels torn off pill bottles, hypodermics glint in corners.
is that? That's crazy.
On the roof, he breathes in skyline calm, but the building talks back. Footsteps, voices, a phone blasting music. He kills his light and listens. They aren't fellow explorers. They're scrappers, high and territorial.
Somebody's been up here recently. Smells like cigarettes in here. Somebody's pills. They ripped the label off. Somebody was like using needles up here too, it looks like. Somebody's here. I heard something. I wonder if that was somebody.
A lot of noise coming from the stairwell nearby on the 9th floor. Multiple voices and what sounded like music playing from a cell phone. So I quickly pressed record on my camera and turned my light off just in case they were hostile. Unfortunately, the camera audio was cutting in and out during the entire exploration, and it failed to capture the sound during this part. While sitting quietly in the dark, I listened, and they sounded like they might be fellow urban explorers. So I turned my light on and went to the stairwell to see who they were. When I got to the door, I unintentionally scared a woman that was with the group, and she screamed and ran up the stairs yelling help. That's when one of the guys racked his gun and shouted, "Who's down there?" I replied that I was just taking pictures of the building. It quickly became clear they weren't explorers, they were scrappers, and they were also using drugs while stripping the place. They began yelling and threatening to shoot me if I didn't leave. I started arguing back at them, saying I have a gun too, and that they needed to relax. After a bit of tense back and forth, I told them I'm leaving soon and I won't bother them. I then left the stairwell and went down the hall to a different stairwell so I could get to the lower section of the building to get away from them. As I walked away, I could hear what sounded like at least 4 people yelling and cussing about me being there. One of them was even talking about me. This whole interaction made me pretty nervous, especially considering the number of bullet holes and shell casings I had already found scattered throughout the building. It was clear that these scrappers come here often, and were mad that I was in there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they fire off rounds to scare off explorers or anyone else who enters the building. Anyways, I just continued to explore the lower levels of the building, hoping they stay in the upper levels.
This place is crazy. Completely flooded.
Bullet holes in drywall confirm what his nerves already knew. He exits unseen, intact, and rattled. The video isn't about empty grandeur. It's about how quickly an abandoned place becomes someone else's active territory. An online tarot reader, Solo Loca, decides to pivot from card pulls to a live-streamed seance. Phone in one hand, a second device on a call with a friend seated before a mirror. She invites any presence to give a sign.
Como si me quedara inmovilizada. Mira que se ahora hacen así.
Ahora se abre la puerta.
¿Dónde está la puerta? ¿Se ve la puerta?
Sí.
Ábrete, ábrete. Ábrete puerta. Ábrete puerta. Que se abra la puerta. Que se abra.
¡No! No posible. No posible.
Ay, tu madre, hija de puta. No me toquéis que estoy protegida, ¿eh? No me toquéis que estoy protegida. No vale, ya abro la luz, tía.
The adjacent door unlatches and swings open in reply, clean, on cue. She steadies herself, resumes, and asks again. A new disturbance follows. Objects shifting, a presence implied just off frame.
¿Puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Estás enfadado? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante? Venga, ponte delante del espejo. Te quiero ver. Dios, tu puta madre. No, puta, me caigo.
Cuidado.
Confidence evaporates. She ends the stream abruptly. If staged, it's tight timing and good misdirection. If not, she invited and received. Either way, the sequence lands because the cause-effect feels immediate. Ask, response, ask again, escalation. For most viewers, that's close enough to pass on trying this at home. On the morning of Friday, August 29, 2025, a statewide alert went out in Wisconsin. Police were asked to find a white 2007 Hyundai Santa Fe stolen from a homicide scene in the town of Mazomanie. Agencies were told to stop the SUV, identifying anyone inside, and notified Dane County investigators immediately. Just after 9 a.m., a Marinette police officer spotted the vehicle inside the city limits. When the officer tried to pull it over, the driver took off, and a high-speed chase began. Marinette County Sheriff Randy Miller attempted to stop the SUV with a tire deflation device, but the driver swerved, lost control, and rolled the vehicle into the ditch along northbound US 41 near exit 216, just south of the Shot Road overpass in the town of Peshtigo. Officers Parker J. De Los Santos and Andrew D. Bonjean approached the wreck. The driver, later identified as 23-year-old Andrew Lloyd Collymore, climbed out, ignored commands, and began walking away. As officers closed in, they saw he was armed with a sharp-edged weapon. Moments later, Collymore advanced toward them.
Hands! Let me see your hands! I would wait for that. Hands! Show me your hands! Hands! No! Show me your hands!
Area
Show
51.
me! Show me your hands now!
Area 51, I got a knife.
Show me your hands! Taking the knife out. Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Get your hands up now!
6 minute. He's armed with a knife. Not.
Don't move. Don't move. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Guy, drop the knife. Can you talk to us, please?
You're supposed to execute me.
Just drop the knife, man. Just want to talk. Just want to talk.
On the ground. On the ground.
Don't move. Don't move! Drop the knife!
Put it down now!
Drop the knife!
Put it down now! Drop the knife!
Drop the knife!
Drop the knife!
Again. 75 rescue. You okay?
Yeah.
Do you have a med kit or anything like that, Rainey, in your truck?
Sheriff Miller deployed an electronic control device, and both officers fired their duty pistols in defense of themselves and each other. Collmore collapsed. Officers immediately rendered aid, and he was transported to a nearby hospital, where he was pronounced dead. No officers were injured.
I would wait for that.
Hands! Show me your hands!
Hands!
No!
Show me your hands!
Area 51! Show me your hands now! Area 51, I got a knife. Show me your hands! Taking the knife out. Get your hands up!
Get your hands up!
Get your hands up now!
6 minute. He's armed with a knife. Not.
Don't move! Don't move! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Guy, drop the knife. Can you talk to us, please?
You're supposed to execute me.
Just drop the knife, man. Just want to talk. Just want to talk.
On the ground. On the ground.
Don't move. Don't move. Drop the knife.
Put it down now.
Drop the knife.
Put it down now. Drop the knife.
Drop the knife.
Drop the knife.
Aokigahara, the forest in Mount Fuji's base. Quiet, heavy with tragedy, and known for it. Late 2017, a vlogger with a colossal audience films a haunted walk that becomes a discovery of a real person who has died by suicide.
Hey, I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right there. I'm not even f***ing kidding. Do you see it? I'm not even, this isn't a f***ing joke, guys! That's a f***ing person! No. Dude, I f***ing told you.
No.
I think you're f***ing right. Oh my god.
No.
Dude, what the heck? Camera, let's go.
What the heck?
I've never seen a dead person.
You haven't?
No, bro. Oh, what the f*** am I looking at?
Oh my god, he's hanging.
Bro. Did we just find a dead person in the suicide forest? Hang?
The camera keeps rolling. There is nervous laughter, commentary, close-ups. The internet detonates. 10 days pass before the platform publicly addresses it. The creator takes the video down himself and posts apologies, admitting the line he crossed should have been obvious. What remains is a case study in incentives and empathy, the brutal mismatch between an algorithm that rewards attention and a moment that demanded the lens turn away. The forest asked for reverence. The upload button delivered spectacle. The backlash and the questions it raised about consent, dignity, and editorial judgment still echo. Perching on the edge of a truck bed, trailer lip, or any unsecured, narrow surface while handling cargo is a bad bargain. You lose 2 or 3 points of contact, shift your center of mass past the edge, and any slip Dust, a wet boot, a rolling tote turns into a backward spill. Worse, the load you're guiding can follow you down or snap a wrist as you try to save it. The safe pattern is boring and effective. Keep feet on the deck, kneel only when stabilized, stage items on a stable surface at hip height, and use a spotter to hand up or down. Chalk wheels, set the parking brake, and never straddle a gap between truck and dock. Vehicles settle on suspension and will move under you. If height is the issue, deploy a certified step platform with guardrails or a lightweight ramp with traction cleats. A 5-second detour to set up eliminates the one misstep you can't take back. A shocking series of impacts and collapses unfolds on CCTV, people caught in a cascade of failures. Yet after the footage posts, nothing official follows. No statements, no numbers, just a hole where answers should be. The clip is harrowing not only for the violence recorded, for the informational void afterward. Without credible reporting, speculation rushes in and the victims become scenery and a rumor. What a video does prove is vulnerability. Crowded spaces without redundancy, exits, guard features, load paths, turn one failure into many. If those in frame didn't make it, the way they died will never be instructive for the public because the record is sealed. That's its own kind of tragedy. A tiny convenience shop, a single clerk, and a thief who treats the place like a pantry. He moves calmly, takes what he wants, and leaves without smashing cases or roughing anyone up. The clerk, late to register the theft, is also powerless to intervene. No security, no backup, no physical barrier.
Wow. 兄弟啊！哎，大哥，别捂了，别捂了，别抬了，快，那个人。
On March 19, 2023, police officers in Sanford, Florida were dispatched to a Waffle House after reports flooded in of a violent brawl breaking out among several patrons. What began as an argument over a phone quickly spiraled into complete chaos. Inside the restaurant, voices clashed and chairs scraped against the floor as tempers flared. One woman screamed about her missing phone, while others shouted for everyone to go outside. The atmosphere was thick with tension, a mix of alcohol, pride, and rage. Customers tried to defuse the situation, but no one was listening.
I need my phone. You talking about chill? Hey, go outside. Go outside. I get your phone. Go outside. I get your phone. Go outside. Go outside for their arrest you. Go outside for their arrest you. Just go outside. Just go outside. Just go outside. Just chill. Just chill. Let these people just calm this shit down and get your phone.
Officers arrived to find the scene still in turmoil, food scattered, glass broken, and several people yelling over one another. Staff members tried to usher the crowd out, pleading for calm, but emotions ran high. Waffle House is closed. One employee shouted as another begged the crowd to leave before the fight reignited.
Everybody, let's go! Everybody, let's go! Let's go! Oh, y'all, let's go. They need to pay? They don't care. They don't care for paying, just go. They don't care for paying, just go. Take the food with you.
No, actually, she has not given the food. Yeah, we don't pay for food. Yeah, that's what they bullshit.
Out, go. Out. Go out.
Okay, excuse me. Oh, please don't push me.
Go out. Because we get to fight again, we got to get to throwing people out physically. All right, bro. How many more people you got coming?
Everybody. Hey, Waffle House is closed. Everybody outside. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Head to the door. Head to the door. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Nobody else going to Waffle House. Waffle House is closed. Waffle House is closed now.
But I'm telling you, again, I swear to God, my phone
I'm not with no weed. Guess what?
Anyone.
Watch out, Elsie.
Anyone.
Is this your car?
Whose car?
That's a done deal right there.
You say your food's already done?
Yes.
Where's the food? It was sitting inside. Why wouldn't you grab it when you came out?
Because they wouldn't allow us. Y'all told us to get out. We paid good money for the food. Them motherfuckers, they came in.
Yankee 805 Hotel Zulu, Y80586.
Put her in custody. What we're not gonna do is keep talking and playing with you. Stop. Nah, man.
Okay.
Told you how many times?
Take this copy, thank you.
Don't do it. I'll do it too. Man, come on.
Moments later, an object flew across the parking lot. A metal coffee container hurled by a woman wearing silver pants. Witnesses pointed her out immediately, identifying her as the one who reignited the altercation.
That's not broken, is it?
Everybody that's going on the cuss out there, about to start going. I'm tired of talking. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes now to go home. Go home.
Yeah, that's broke.
No, man.
Who threw that?
I'm wrong.
The one y'all ain't got in hand, the one who still chance me to go, because that's who threw it. She won't start on her. She don't want to
Got it.
the other one y'all got.
Got it. What did she break? She threw that right there, didn't she? I don't know. I'm counting. This is Sanford. I just so happen to be in the area. So. Just so happen to be over here. She threw the coffee container and the silver pants walking around.
Oh, the one we got?
No, she's still out there.
Okay.
Still out there.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go.
We need to go.
Silver pants. She threw the whole coffee thing.
Oh, let's go with that.
Officers moved in, ordering everyone to step back. That's when the situation hit its peak. The woman screamed that she wasn't going to jail, repeating it over and over as officers surrounded her. "I swear to God, I'm not going to jail," she yelled, her voice trembling between fear and fury. Backup officers stood by, waiting for things to settle as others detained the participants.
I'm not going to jail, I swear to God, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. Y'all got me fucked up, bro. I'm not going to jail. You tripping. I don't care.
Who else is involved that's out here right now?
I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail.
She's laughing when I threw something.
I don't care, bro. Y'all, I swear to God, on my baby head, y'all want to come with it because I'm not going to jail. On me, I'm not. You tripping, bro. No, I'm not going to jail. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to jail. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all.
Be a great witness.
On my baby head, okay, y'all want to come with it because I'm not going to jail. Y'all tripping.
By the end of the night, 3 individuals were taken into custody, charged with resisting arrest with violence and disorderly affray, a term used when multiple people engage in public fighting or chaos. No one was seriously injured, but the brawl left the restaurant in shambles and bystanders shaken. In the end, it was another ordinary night at Waffle House, until it wasn't.
What are you doing?
It happened early one Thursday morning in Milwaukee, October 9th, 2025. A quiet commute to work turned into a deadly encounter in a matter of seconds. Around 8:25 a.m., an off-duty Milwaukee police officer was driving along West Mill Road when he got into a minor car accident. Both drivers pulled over, nothing unusual, just two people checking for damage. But as the officer stepped out to assess the scene, the other driver made a move that would change everything. He pulled out a gun. Without warning, the man struck the officer in the face with his weapon, a sudden, violent hit that sent shock through the air. Instinct took over. The officer reached for his department-issued firearm, and what followed was chaos. Rounds were fired. Both men opened fire at close range. When the smoke cleared, the 26-year-old armed driver lay motionless on the ground, fatally shot.
Stay down on the ground. Don't move. Walk and please. Stay on the ground.
The officer, wounded and shaken, was rushed to the hospital for treatment. No one else was hurt. The off-duty officer, a 21-year veteran of the Milwaukee Police Department, was later placed on administrative duty. As is standard in any officer-involved shooting, the Milwaukee Area Investigative Team quickly took over the case, with the West Allis Police Department leading the investigation. What began as a simple morning fender bender ended with gunfire, death, and yet another reminder: you never truly know who's behind the wheel next to you. A massive gas pipeline blast in Putra Heights, Malaysia, sent a towering mushroom-shaped cloud into the sky, drawing comparisons to a nuclear detonation due to its size and intensity. A huge explosion erupted when a fire broke out in a gas pipeline in Putra Heights located near Malaysia's capital, Kuala Lumpur. The blast was so intense it forced authorities to evacuate nearby residential areas as a precaution. Thankfully, the fire was eventually brought under control. In total, 305 people were safely rescued and relocated. On the evening of April 26, 2024, officers were called out to an apartment complex after reports came in about two people allegedly pulling weapons on each other. The situation escalated quickly once they arrived on the scene.
I'm on the phone with the police right now.
Nothing's gonna happen to you, dog. Just keep your hands up.
I hope so, because the world about to end and somebody me.
As the officers neared the apartment, they found a man, later identified as a tenant, caught in a tense standoff. He was visibly distressed, speaking to the police on the phone while urgently pleading for his safety. Officers tried to calm him down, assuring him that he wasn't necessarily under arrest, and asked him to follow their instructions.
Alright, I'm going down. I'm listening to y'all.
Just to your knees.
Yeah, please, thank you. So we can take care of that.
Can you go to your belly?
I'm not touching anything, sir.
Go ahead to your belly.
Please, can y'all take the gun off me, please?
We're gonna do that.
See right there, you right there.
Okay.
Rayshawn, we can't do anything until we get. Listen, go down.
I'm going from out here.
Go down, brother. Come on, man. You gonna do this to me? Go down, bro.
Yeah.
Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
Just go abs down.
Now turn on your stomach.
Why am I going to jail?
You're not going to jail.
I just told y'all, why you open the door? You called the police, right?
Rayshawn, you gonna do this to me?
No, just grab the gun.
Bro, I will once you turn around and go on your stomach.
If I go on my stomach, you won't see the gun.
And then we're gonna listen.
Can I lay on my back?
Despite the repeated reassurances, the man seemed confused, emotionally overwhelmed, and began spouting paranoid comments about the world ending, feeling threatened, and mentioning a gun on the ground nearby.
Is she running? Is she running?
You lethal.
Can you please come here and grab? Listen.
No, I'll put my stuff down.
Please. Don't.
Can you go down?
Please don't.
All right. You want me to do it? You want me to do it? Want me to get it?
Grab it.
Want me to get it?
No, grab the gun. Please don't me, because I called the police. Okay. And that gun is registered.
Clear.
And whoever me, this world about to end right now.
We're not gonna you, bro.
No. You understand? No, when you They right there.
We detained you.
Hey, chill out. Look, you don't wave. My phone's right there. Can I get my phone? Why did he grab me like that?
Eventually, the man complied with the officer's commands and was taken into custody without any physical confrontation. During questioning, he claimed that a 12-year-old boy had threatened him with a weapon, saying, "Let's do it right now." He also said that earlier that day he had been harassed by a manager at his job at the Cheesecake Factory. However, police began to suspect the man was under the influence of narcotics, as his behavior was erratic. His speech was slurred, and he showed signs of paranoia, such as dry mouth. It was later confirmed that he was carrying a weapon and had not complied fully with the officers, leading to his arrest.
That's my bag. So this is what I'm gonna say. I'm about to look at my son, and y'all can ask me whatever y'all want to ask me. The 12-year-old that's in the office or wherever he's at, he just pulled a gun out on me, or tried to, and said, "Let's do it right now." Somebody he in a look, man, come on. What you want, Lumen, bro? All right. He probably illegal trying to me. Okay. But they need to. Can y'all run the cameras back? Yeah, I'm gonna go. So I hope it's on police report that the police was called to my house.
Now, who was bothering you? Why did you call? Did you call the police on it, or did somebody else call?
So look, I go to the Cheesecake Factory. You know I work at the Cheesecake Factory, right? So I go up there, right? And I tell my manager, Matt, I think his name Matthew or Nathaniel or whatever. I don't know his real name, but you know how they go by. Can I stand up? I see you. Give me some help.
Yes.
All right. No, don't take my ID off. Hey, yo, don't take my.
You
she right there.
Causing the scene, bro.
I'm not causing no scene.
Oh, because you get on the other side.
Listen, am I gonna have to carry you like a can? All right, listen. Wherever y'all about to take me, come on. Y'all make sure y'all do your job. Because I'm not coming back.
Watch your head.
What you doing? I'm getting you in the car. Why you take my ID?
Because you're not.
All right, where you reaching for?
Hold on his teeth. On his.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Stuff on the ground. Where the rest of his stuff at?
Come on back here.
Where the rest of his stuff at?
Okay.
Give me the rest of his stuff.
I'm going to ask you to step outside and talk to you. Okay.
For what?
The focus soon shifted to a woman who identified herself as the man's partner or the mother of his children. She became visibly agitated and confrontational when officers began questioning her and gathering evidence.
What can I do for you?
Stuff on the ground. Where the rest of his stuff at?
Come on back here.
Where the rest of his stuff at?
Okay.
Give me the rest of his stuff.
I'm going to ask you to step outside and talk to you. Okay.
For what? It's not nothing you got to talk to me about. You took him to jail already. Can I get the rest of his stuff?
It's
That's
probably
fine.
out there.
Where's it at?
Out there.
Why would you call the police on his scene?
He literally called the police on his
He said if they don't come right now,
everybody's going to die.
I swear to God.
He literally started waving his gun out here, and he had.
Why do you think everybody else saw it? He like, yeah.
He had narcotics on him.
When officers asked her to leave the property, since she wasn't on the lease, tensions rose. She refused to follow their orders, and that's when they informed her that she was under arrest for menacing.
Ma'am, I need you to come over here. Ma'am, you're under arrest for menacing right now. Okay?
No.
Come here. Stop.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
I need you to stop. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
I'm not under arrest.
You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
Stop.
No, I'm not.
100. I need more units here. Non-compliant female. You just stop walking.
For what? You're not about to arrest me for nothing. I didn't do nothing.
Around.
You didn't arrest them for nothing.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Call somebody that you know.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
Call my mama.
Turn around.
Can you wait? Can I get my kids situated?
No.
Her resistance only made things worse. As officers tried to arrest her, she physically fought back and even bit one of the officers on the leg. In response, they deployed a taser to subdue her.
Get to your stomach. Hey, don't bite me. Don't bite me.
Turn around. How are you with me? How am I turning around?
Get on your stomach.
You with me? You with me?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
She was eventually restrained and handcuffed, all the while screaming at the officers, accusing them of using excessive force and insisting that she was being treated unfairly. She demanded her phone to call her mother to care for her children and threatened legal action, claiming police brutality and misconduct. Medics were called in to treat the officer who had been bitten and the woman who had been tased. While officers and EMTs worked to calm her down and address her taser wounds, she continued to protest and express frustration. Despite her ongoing distress, the situation was eventually brought under control. She was placed in a police vehicle, still loudly voicing her displeasure. As the dust settled, witnesses including the apartment complex's property manager gave statements. The manager noted that the man had generally been peaceful in the past, but his behavior had become increasingly erratic. They confirmed that drugs were involved and explained that out of a personal relationship with the tenant, they had avoided calling the police in the past. In the end, the woman was charged with disorderly conduct, assault on an officer, and resisting arrest, while the man faced charges of aggravated menacing, carrying a concealed weapon, and drug possession. Since Sunday, May 11, 2025, police in Nashville had been searching for 29-year-old Tadarius Milan Hunt. He was wanted for shooting a 44-year-old employee of the Nashville Rescue Mission right outside the front doors of the Lafayette Street shelter. Witnesses say Hunt ran up and opened fire, hitting the man in the chest and legs. The victim had reportedly banned Hunt from the property earlier that morning. The victim was rushed into surgery at Vanderbilt University Medical Center and, despite being in extreme critical condition, was able to speak with detectives. An arrest warrant for attempted murder was issued for Hunt, who was considered armed and dangerous. The following day, just after 11 a.m. on May 12, Officer Jaron Brees spotted Hunt on Division Street. Officer Clayton Lewis arrived from the other side of the bridge to assist. Hunt pulled out a handgun and fired at the officers, grazing Lewis's leg. The officers returned fire, hitting Hunt critically.
Hey, buddy, come here. Come here. Hey, let me see your hands. Reese, I'm coming across the bridge on Division now. Where do you need me? You better stop. You better stop. Stop! Stop! Shots fired! Shots fired! Are you hit? Yeah. Are you hit? I think I got hit in the leg. Something hit me in the leg.
He was taken to the hospital where he later died. His 9mm pistol was recovered at the scene. Officer Lewis was treated and released.